Sup, it's your boy Big Reg coming to you once again. I should say coming to you for the final time to recap the season for Team 143, a loss in the college football semifinals in the Fiesta Bowl to the TCU Horned Frogs. Man, oh man, what a game! What a game! First, let's call a spade a spade. I done messed up. I thought it was going to be a blowout for Michigan, a blowout victory. I even made fun of producer Jay Bizzle when he gave his prediction in the something 40s to 40s or something or other. I was like, what are you nuts? What do you think this is Rich Rod era Michigan that gives up a bunch of points? I said, no way, man. I said, no way. Not with Jesse Minter and company. But man, oh man. Turned out to be true. Turned out to be true. 51 to 45. The Michigan Wolverines go down and the season ends in such an unexpected way that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Joining me tonight, trying to recap and trying to make some sense of all the stuff that happened. First, as always, the harbinger of horror, the one, the only, producer Jay Bizzle.
Harbinger of horror.
You're the one that brought this upon us. You're the one that said we couldn't play defense. I was like, what was going on, man? Come on, man.
I'm the only one who went to the game out of this group, and I expect
that's even worse. You're the one that predicted the bad mojo, and then you went to the game, and then you brought it in person. Holy smokes!
Oh God, I'll tell you about the whole experience later on.
Oh, and I don't even make me mention the fact that you went with the bag man from Pittsburgh who predicted that we were going to lose. So you brought double mojo to the game. Holy
No. I need to put it out there in writing. Bagman did predict 34-24 Michigan. I just wrote TCU on the text thread.
You sucker.
Oh, my gosh. Why would you do that? Holy smokes, this guy. Wow. Anyway, that's neither here nor there now. Also joining us, we were watching the game together, actually. The one, the only, JC from Sunnyside.
Let me be the first one on the show to wish everybody a happy new year.
Oh, yeah, I always forgot about that.
Folks. I was feeling hopeful and a little better today with the new year, new day, but just being here just gets me in my feels a little bit.
Holy smokes. Yeah, you're going back into the muck. That's what it is. We're dragging you back into the muck by talking about what happened yesterday. Also joining us, he looks lively though. I gotta admit, I thought he'd be looking a little bit worse for the wear, but he's not. He's looking pretty good. The one, the only, nameless guest.
Yeah, sad, a little bit of mad, but honestly just got coaxed into this because I heard there could be some healing on this show. So let's go.
I doubt that. Healing. Let's come on, man. You're talking crazy right now. Holy smokes. Because we all know why there's not going to be much healing. There's going to be a lot more ranting and raving because of this next guest. The one, the only, Prince of Darkness himself. He looks like, holy smokes. What, did you not pay the power bill or something? What's going on over there? The one, the only.
Hey, man. I watched this game by myself in my basement in the dark. And my family left me to go to a New Year's Eve party. And I'm still here, sitting by myself in the dark. I refuse to leave this basement. Until you know who fired.
Wow, that is dedication to a cause that you really don't see until you get to certain groups. But anywho, let's start talking about this game. There are just so many things. I mean, I was looking at all the threads, the message boards, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. All sorts of talks about the refs not being any good, J.J. McCarthy being no good, the offensive line being overrated, the defense being overrated, Jesse Minter being overrated, the offensive coordinators being overrated, Jim Harbaugh being overrated. And then there's a lot of chit-chat about J.J. McCarthy's dad, too. So, man, there's a little bit of everything out there right now. Oof. All of it unsavory, all of it just leaving a bad taste in your mouth. Okay. But man, oh man, where do you even begin? Where do you even begin? There's just so much that was in that game that you could, I mean, if any one of those things happened, you'd be like, man, that's the thing. But there was like 5, 6 things that happened in that game. So that when you kind of zoom out from it all, you're like, how did we even get within 6, given all the stuff that happened? So I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know.
Well, I guess I'll just give you just a short glimpse of game day. State Farm Stadium is just kind of a big monstrosity in Arizona. Crowd wise, TCU is very active. It's a private school, so clearly people have some money, and they send those people there. They were loud. Michigan was also loud. It was split 50-50 pretty much. But they were confident. All their fans were very confident. We got some young like college kids who were like super drunk and they were just yapping their mouths out. But then, I stood up to them and then they were like, "Oh, we're just glad to be here, etc." Blah blah blah. Most of the older fans, they're happy to be there, but they were also feeling very confident. So it was kind of weird going into this game, which might have been a little bit of why this turned out the way that it turned out, because they had nothing to lose. They knew they were going to go in there, quote, the underdog, and they just brought it on there. But I would say when we started coming back and we started in the second half starting to put some pressure on them, they all shut up really quickly, and they were very nervous all the way to the end. You didn't hear a peep from them until that last set of series that were there, because they were nervous that it was possible to have happened.
I mean, there are so many things, like Big Red said, so many things to point to talk about. The refs, the 2 pick sixes, right after the Roman Wilson touchdown got overturned, unjustly overturned. We give it to Keith Mullings. He fumbles it. The guy never touches the ball. Why give it to him at the 1? Why do the double reverse right on the first goal line play, goal line possession? Why? With all of that, down 19 in the end of the third, we scored 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions to bring it within 3.
Crazy.
We got momentum. It's like 3rd and 7 from there, like 25 or 28 or something like that. And then that swing pass to Quentin Johnson. DJ Turner, make the freaking tackle. Get us off the field. I have been somewhat patient with DJ Turner all season, and this is it.
Here it comes.
The pass interferences, the holding. He should have got called for like 2 or 3 pass interferences that didn't get called yesterday. He's all getting PI. He's all getting burned. And finally, like when it matters most, right? Big time players need to make big time plays, and he did not make a big time play in a big moment. That's the play that sticks out to me. That killed.
Come on.
Give me a break, man. You're gonna blame DJ Turner? JJ McCarthy single-handedly lost us this game. You cannot throw 2 pick sixes, be involved in the fumble, the goal line, and underthrow. I've said this all year. I can't make an accurate throw beyond 10 yards. He underthrew Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson was behind both of those DBs, and he had to turn around and wait for the ball, which is exactly why he fell down at the half goal line, whatever. And I agree it was a touchdown. But if he had not underthrown that ball, that would have been an easy touchdown with no controversy. But of course, JJ, in JJ fashion all year, underthrows a wide open receiver again to get us to that point. Come on, man. DJ Turner missed one tackle. Yeah, I get it. It was a touchdown. But a lot of players miss one tackle. Maybe it was a defensive formation. Maybe they should have had a safety back there or something. But J.J. McCarthy single-handedly lost us this game.
He was also almost single-handedly bringing us back in the game. So let's not forget.
Come on, man. Of course, he's a
Right?
quarterback. He's the only player who can single-handedly
Runs.
bring us back in the game.
And I'm gonna save this for a little bit at the end. The hope that I have in this program for next year. But for now, I still need to, it's a little salty still. Still a little salty.
JJ made mistakes. Nobody can, pretend that they didn't happen. They were hugely costly. I mean, he's one of the GOATs, and I don't mean greatest of all time. But my venting, if I may, and I don't care what a loser I sound like, but those effing refs. Yeah, I said it. Those SECFers, SECFers screwed us.
Wow.
That was a freaking touchdown any way you slice it. SECFers. Okay. I'm so I was actually happy today. I was in a good place. I've been like doing better about not being ride or die, live and die Michigan football. And healing is not happening here. So I feel like bait and switched already, just coming on talking this out with you guys. Because I also kind of just said, it happens. Good plays, bad plays. I love our guys. They've made some mistakes. Yes, DJ missed. Mozzie slipped on the turf. Surefire sack. Whatever. That's not even on him. It was just a slip. There's so many things. Bad calls. Things that the play callers wish they had back. But man, with all the crazy stuff that happens in college football, because that is college football, crazy crap happens. But you shouldn't get hosed by biased SECFers. I cede the floor to the next dude.
I would have to say, if you're looking for some kind of healing in this, consider this, okay? It's two semifinal games that went down to the wire, okay? Two of the greatest, probably, games of college football playoffs in combination with one another that determined who went to the finals. We got screwed. We didn't play well. That's granted. But you cannot deny, and everyone that I've talked to who's not even like a Michigan football fan, I have work friends from ASU who are saying, I watched that whole game. I was, rooting for Michigan, obviously, but they were like, that was a great game. I'm sorry you guys lost. Other people just mentioning, even my parents were texting me and they were like, oh, I'm sorry Michigan lost, etc., because they're watching the game. But you cannot deny that these were two of the greatest games. I watched the Ohio State Georgia game too. That came down to the wire. Thank God those Sucks scrapped that up and did not make it to the finals. But it cannot be denied that these were the two best semifinal games in a college football playoff. I know for some people it's not much consolation, but I think nationwide, they all acknowledge like this was a great playoff series that have happened.
I can't stand those classics that we become like we come out on the losing end. The 06-07 number 1, number 2 Ohio State Michigan game. They play that over and over again. And I hate watching it. And I hate this one. That was a classic game that we came out as losers. Refs, run, stop it. Give TCU some credit, right? They stuffed the run, right? They stuffed the run. And you know, we just lost the battle in the trenches.
We
On
did.
top
We
of all
did.
mistakes and the refs.
I'm sorry. I mean, I just needed to vent. In truth, it's hard to believe, but in truth, I even love you guys, the SEC effers. All love. You know, it's just immediate react, you know, and even Desmond said it. Of course, it's true. I mean, on the half-yard line, 1 yard line, you don't fumble that away. You still punch it in. You know, of course you do. But it's just so hard to stomach when it shouldn't have even come to that. And my goodness, just pile on, get to the rest of the points because I'm still waiting for the healing. Let's go.
I'm not as gracious as Nameless when he said, in truth, he loves the SEC effer refs. JJ, for all I care, can enter the transfer portal. This game is not even close. 2 pick sixes, and you're gonna blame that fumble on Mullins? Hey, man, have you seen the replay? That ball didn't even get into his gut. It didn't even get in there. Oh man, JJ single-handedly cost us this game. It wasn't the refs. Fine, the refs made 2 horrible calls: the targeting, the missed targeting, and the overturned touchdown. Fine. Even with those, if we didn't have the 2 pick sixes, we would have won this game. This game wouldn't have even been close. It wouldn't have been an instant classic if it wasn't for you know who.
Oh, he won't even say his name now. He won't even say his name now. He got into that list.
Oh gosh. Listen, I've been thinking about, and man, oh man, I've been trying to find positives, but it's tough. It's tough to find positives.
Oh, they're positives. Come on, man.
Well, I didn't say it was impossible, but I did say it's tough. It's tough to find positives. And I'm gonna tell you, my spirits started to drop right after that first drive. I was soaring like an eagle on eagle's wings after Donovan Edwards took flight on that 60-yard run in the first drive. I thought we were well on our way to victory. But just like a Southwest flight that got grounded and grounded again and again, man, oh man, the Michigan run game just could not get going after that. And the thing that sealed it for me right from the beginning was that crazy Philadelphia special. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I had said to myself, if we're one of the top rushing attacks in the nation, if we have confidence in our quarterback, you know, then you don't got to do those silly tricks, you know, to get the first score and get momentum. You know what I mean? If you are the underdog, yeah, maybe you do something like that to get the crowd into it, to kind of knock the favorite off their heels. But as the favorite to do that, oh man, I just felt like it was unnecessary. If you got confidence, go and get the job done, you know? But we didn't do that. We came out with some trickerations and whatnot that just it was so frustrating to watch. Frustrating. And then the pick sixes. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the first pick six, I was like, man, oh man, this. But then the second pick six in the second half, oh man, my spirit sank. My spirit sank. Oh, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it.
The stage was too big for JJ. And I mean, if they showed JJ's family celebrating one more time, I swear I was gonna just put my fist through that television screen. Come on, man. Freaking break. I don't want to see his family jumping up and down every time he made a play. Did they show his family when he threw a pick six? Freaking break. Get that JJ McCarthy family off the screen.
Oh my gosh! Now the hate is extending all the way to the family. Holy smokes! This guy is on fire right now. Come on.
Hey, but I mean, I would have to say that like Bagman and I obviously went to the game together. And Bagman was feeling very nervous. He was feeling very nervous going into the game. He felt like it was going to be close, and he felt like we were underrating them. And I was like, nah, like I feel comfortable. I feel like we're going to win. And then I would have to say that it was a little bit, and Bagman, I'm going to kind of call you out on here. He did manifest a little bit of JJ pick six here. He was like, the only thing that could possibly go wrong is if JJ throws pick sixes. And he did. So I blame you, Bagman, but I forgive you because he also called the flea flicker touchdown right before it happened. He said they're too aggressive on defense. Why don't you throw a flea flicker? And literally the next, I'm not joking you, literally the next play, Donovan Edwards gets the ball, flicks it back, touchdown, and then we're just basically hugging each other, and we're like, let's go. And then they scored another touchdown on the way back.
I get the somewhat hate on JJ, right? 2 pick sixes, that hurts. That's 14 points. Puts us behind schedule. But you gotta also give him credit for bringing us back. We were down 19. I mean, the guy threw for what, 350? He had 2 touchdowns, ran for another one, got 2 2-point conversions, made numerous big plays on his feet in the fourth quarter to get us back. So even though JJ put us in a hole, I mean, if it wasn't for him, there's no way that we'd be back in down by 3 with a chance to, right? So I actually think fourth quarter, he may have found something. I think he elevated his game, which makes me hopeful for 2023. I'm telling you. I think JJ, he was happy to take the starting job. He just started this year, right? He just started this year. First playoff experience as a starter. I think it's going to be a special season for him in 2023.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I'm calling he will be in Manhattan.
Oh my gosh, this guy! Come on, man!
Hold on.
You're talking about Heisman 2023. We're still stewing over a loss in 2022. Come on, man!
Come on, man! You gotta start coming out of it a little bit. Start coming out of it a little bit. Look what we have.
Okay. All right. So
we can keep talking about the game yesterday and keep rehashing the points.
This guy. That's the whole point of this episode. We're not doing a Heisman the preview episode. Come on, man.
I thought it was a little early to get onto the happy train, but I was waiting for a guy to start getting more involved and showing up on the stat sheet and making plays. And thank goodness Roman Wilson wasn't injured like for reals earlier in the game. Came back and started making catches, and we need more of that. If he can be a consistent force, that bodes well, because Bell and Scooney are going to be sorely missed. Those guys moved the chains all year. And speaking of Scooney, we needed you, brother. We needed you bad that whole rest of the way. once you got your shoulder iced. But yes, what's his name? Roman did some stuff. So thank you. That's one bright spot.
Well, let me, if I can just have a chance to vent just a little bit. The whole game was full of what ifs. You know, if ifs and buts were beers and nuts, then we had one heck of a party. And man, oh man, that was one heck of a party last night. Like we said, there was like 6 or 7 key plays that if any of them had fallen from Michigan's way, could have been a whole different outcome. But the fact that all 6 or 7 didn't go our way just makes me feel, you know, I it's like a 6 or 7 game parlay that didn't go your way, and it just all my money's now gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like all losses on the bet slip. You know, like you're saying, the DJ Turner missed tackle. You know, you say, all right, DJ Turner missed tackle with Jesse Minter. Probably had the worst half of football, you know, that he's had in a long time, calling as a defensive coordinator. You know, all year we've been saying that Michigan is a second half team. I shouldn't say that we've been saying it. Michigan has showed that they're a second half team that's able to make adjustments to shut down the other team's offense. But yesterday, man, oh man, yesterday, in a couple key moments, we couldn't come up with it. And that was just so frustrating. On the bright side, though, the defense still made enough plays to give us a chance, even at the very end. You know, so on the bright side, remember when we had the strip fumble? Remember the recovery?
Yeah.
You know, and then when even to set up the last drive at 50-something seconds left, the defense had to come up big on third and I think it was like 3rd and 6 or something, and they got him off the field. So even then, the defense did enough to at least give us a shot, but it didn't do enough to give us the lead at any point. You know, so that was just so frustrating. They didn't do enough to get us a victory. They gave us a chance to get a victory, but they didn't do enough to give us a victory. And I'm going to put it this way. Sure, 51 points minus the 14 for the 2 pick sixes, 37 points. Man, that defense should not have given up 37 points. That defense should not have given up almost 300 yards rushing to TCU. You know, so I look at that and I just shake my head and say, oh man, what could have been or what should have been. That defense should have got a lot more than 2 sacks on Max Duggan. You know, they got to him a couple times, but man, oh man, there was just too many times when he was just using his feet to dance away to get just enough time to get his receiver open and bust a big play. So those were the kind of things that made me say, last night, instead of being a no-name defense, we needed somebody to step real big and make a superstar play. But we didn't have that last night. We didn't have it last night. Oh.
And is nobody going to bring up clock management at the end of the game? I mean, how do we that last drive with like 6 minutes left, 5 minutes, the guy runs out of bounds and everybody thinks like the clock stopped. Do they not know that the clock doesn't stop under 2 minutes until it's under 2 minutes? And they're wasting time after time. And then Harbaugh not calling timeouts, fine. That also it could have gone either way, right? But we could have easily gotten the ball back with like a minute and a half left, something like that. And then you're not as rushed, maybe. I mean, how are these things happening still? Like the clock management, how does that still happen at this level, at this point of the season?
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I think I was obviously calling for quick timeouts to give us enough time. But I mean, I think they made a choice to say, like, we'd rather be able to stop the clock with 3 timeouts than stop the clock early and only have 1 timeout left to get there.
No, but Square's making more, if I heard you correctly, about the lack of urgency on the drive before, not when we're on playing defense. Man, that's what I was getting all hyped about.
Right.
They were not moving. It's their methodical approach on O. They don't have. This is one of my few criticisms that I think is much warranted. I like they can't flip the switch and just go into that speed up hurry mode where when they have to. They just can't. They don't have it in them. And they need to be able to call the play in and save like literally 15, 17, 18 seconds every single play. Those add up. That's a minute. 100%. I mean, and everyone was watching a painful grind down. So,
and this is what I've been saying all season. Why don't we practice this in season when we're playing some of these games and we have a good cushion? And like it's going into the halftime. There's a 2 minutes left. Go through the 2-minute drill, even if we're up by 17 points. Not just rush it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why we don't use opportunities during the regular season to practice that stuff in game.
Wow, I think I know where this is heading. I know where it's heading now.
Just the stuff, and nobody brings up the fact that Jim Harbaugh is now what, 0-6, 0-7 in bowl games? Hey, if we're going to be satisfied with just beating OSU in a Big Ten championship, fine. If that's your expectation, then we shouldn't even be talking right now, right? What's the disappointment? We won the Big Ten championship and we beat OSU. We should be celebrating. If your expectation is more than that, 0-6. That's all I gotta say. 0-6.
nobody's gonna put us in a better spot. I'll take that to the bank.
Except when Jesse Minter just dials up blitz after blitz after blitz. I gotta, Big Reg is right. I think he made a shift at halftime saying, you know what, I'm gonna bring down the corners and jailhouse blitz. And it's almost like Don Brown texted him and said, hey, you should maybe blitz. And that's what burned us when Don Brown was here against these, air raid offenses. And that's what burned us. And yes, DJ Turner should have made that tackle. And he's in the doghouse, and I will not ever give any credit to DJ Turner making any big plays for us.
Wow. Come on, man.
James Worthy. Remember James was not James Worthy. What was his name? There was a guy, I forget a corner back from back in the day. But
who, Morgan Trent? Who are you talking about?
Morgan Trent. That was Morgan Trent was another one. You always saw the backside of his helmet.
We saw his back jersey a lot.
James Whitley.
Oh yeah, James Whitley.
Number five.
Ugh, like one of those. He goes down with like the Morgan Trents and James Whitleys.
Come on, man, that's too harsh. DJ Turner, come on, man. He made a lot of strides this season. You know what I mean? But
didn't he make the last tackle in that defensive stand?
Yeah, he made
him on third down.
No, that was Mike Barrett. Don't try to give DJ credit.
Come on, take it easy.
I think it was DJ who made that stop on that last drive.
Mike Barrett.
Not the same play. You guys are talking about different plays.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, oh my gosh. I don't know. Just in my mind, if the defense, we need a JJ on the defensive side of the ball. Will Turner, I think, is going to get there eventually, but he's still a little bit too young this year. I'm sorry, Will Johnson. Will Johnson is still a little too young. But man, oh man, the other thing that was disappointing about the defense last night for me was the fact that we could not get pressure on the ball without blitzing. Like I said, Max Duggan, he did enough to kind of, dance away. And we were afraid of that going into the game. We said, hey, Max Duggan, he's a cool customer. He can use his legs to buy more time. He could use his legs to, get the yardage, break out some runs. But yeah, last night he did just enough to get enough time to make those plays. And our defensive line could not get as much pressure on him as we needed. And it was a big, big swing in favor of them that he was able to do that.
it was so vastly different than what we've been used to seeing our O-line and D-line in the trenches, that I have to wonder if they couldn't get traction with their cleats on the turf. I see them slipping and sliding all over all night.
Yeah.
It's a
Come
wonder.
on, man. We're talking about Michigan football, who probably has the best equipment in the universe.
How could the number 3 ranked defense, right, in the country not get any pressure against how could our O-line not create any holes against the 62nd ranked defense in the country? How?
Well,
Gotta be the shoes. Come on.
oh my
They
god.
did change cleats at halftime. They changed cleats at halftime.
Is it and is it just me, or is TCU secondary that good? I mean, it seemed like JJ. There were some plays where he was just standing in the pocket for like 35 seconds, and he couldn't find anybody to throw it to. Is he not checking down, or like what? I don't understand how our pass rush O-line was pretty good, I thought. He just
Yeah,
stands
I was
around
about to say. Oh, sorry. I was about to say, to echo your point, for me, I think the offensive line was having trouble, getting the push for the run to get a run game going. But when it came to the passing game, like Square was saying, there was just so many plays where JJ was standing back there for a good 4 or 5 seconds, scanning the field, couldn't find anything, and then the pressure would get to him. But you give a guy 4 or 5 seconds worth of time, you're shocked if he can't find anybody. But the fact that the receiving core couldn't get much separation a lot of those times, and he's just standing there bouncing around, it makes you wonder, are the receivers not getting open, or is JJ not being aggressive enough in pulling the ball down and taking off with it? You know what I mean? So he started doing that more and more as the second half went on. But part of me was wishing that, man, if you can't find anything by 4 or 5 seconds, just pull it down and use your legs. Just pull it down and use your legs and make a play, baby. You know what I mean? But man, oh man, that was another thing that got me wondering, like, he's got so much time back there. He's bouncing, but he can't find anybody. And then it would turn into like, remember that on the third down, they called us for the intentional grounding. Remember that one? And then it turned into that short punt by us, and then the TCU kid ran it back, and then they start off from the 20. That was another big moment.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, it's all these little, I shouldn't say little, but it's these collection of pivotal moments that if any of them, just any of them, had fallen Michigan's way, we might be talking about a whole different story.
But that's the evolution that we want to see from JJ, right? That I think even in the second half, they told him, like, if you don't have anything, start running. And that started to happen, and it opened up things. And, next year, if we're talking about hope, it's gonna happen. He's gonna know now, if I'm not seeing anything, one, either drop it off, just get the 5 yards, or, start running and be able to do that. So it's him being a first year starter that part of it. I'm not discouraged by that. I think he's going to learn from this and then be able to do that. You see the classic picture of him watching TCU celebrate, and they're using that as a poster for hope for next year. But that to me seems like it's a logical next step, and he's going to do it. What's more concerning for me, and I got to twinge it, is the if I had to give associative blame for what's going on, it's literally, I think, play calling, both offensively and defensively. I think we got exposed. We got schooled by TCU. They knew what we were going to do. I mean, there was that one play, Ronnie Bell. He was supposed to get the ball behind 2 tight ends that were supposed to block for him. We were on like the 3-4 yard line. They already knew what was going to happen. It was like reminiscent of like Devin Gardner throwing the ball and like OSU already knowing what's going to happen. And at that point, you have to understand that coaching for the TCU defense to understand and acknowledge. They cut every route. They got the pick sixes by that way. They knew what Donovan Edwards going to do if we're going to pull. They had, the 3-3-5, but it's literally like 7-8 guys in the box, and they're just disguising it, and then they're just rushing everyone in, and their corners can lock down. So at that point, I was like, come on, man. They made adjustments. The corners made adjustments in the second half, and I thought that was hopeful. But that first half, it was just so we could have done so much better in that first half.
Well, I'll just put it this way.
Despite the pick sixes.
I'll put it this way. What happened to me, if I zoom out, they turned the game into a Big 12 game. You know what I mean? And it became a Big 12 game, 51-45. You score 45 points, you should win. Despite all the things that we're saying about the offense and struggling, et cetera, you score 45 points, you should win the game. You really should. But yeah, just the things that happened with, what was I going to say? Oh, the other thing, you mentioned JJ and his progression. The other person on the offense that really needs to look at this game and say, hey, how can I get better? In my estimation, is Donovan Edwards.
100.
If you look at the difference between what Donovan Edwards can bring and what Blake Corum can bring, Blake Corum, the biggest thing for me, watching Blake Corum all year, was the fact that he could turn a no-yard gain situation into a 3 or 4 yard gain situation. He could turn a 3 or 4 yarder into a 10 or 15, and he could turn a 10 or 15 into a home run. The thing that for me is still missing from Donovan Edwards' game is he's not at that ability yet to read the defense and the blocking schemes well enough, or quickly enough, I should say, so that he can do those same type of things and become a more consistent runner.
Yes.
Because there was too many times where we try to run the ball and we would be behind schedule on first down and second down.
Yes.
And that would leave us with third and longs. And when I looked at the stat they were showing up, it's like Michigan 1 for 10 on third downs. I was like, what in the world? And it's because, we kept falling behind on first and second down because a lot of those runs just didn't go anywhere, So for me, I think if there's something that we really need to improve upon next year, whether or not Blake Corum comes back, is Donovan Edwards got to get better at making the reads and keeping us on schedule. It doesn't, if it's not a home run, it can't just be like a 1 or 2 yard gain. It can't be 2 yards or 60 yards. It's got to be like 4 or 5 yards, But man,
I agree with you. We missed Blake, his
Patience.
experienced maturity, his vision and balance and ability to just make the right read and just do it, man. Dono is immensely talented. We love Dono. But he's hit or miss. If he's got the crease and he knows exactly what to do and the play's drawn up like vanilla right there, big guy moved that guy, big guy moved over there, hit it and go like that, then yeah, he's gone. And we celebrate. We go crazy. But there was even a couple of times, I'm sure you'll remember, the camera was in on him and you could see him acknowledge to his teammates, yeah, that's on me. I saw that over there. I should have went that way. Everyone else could see I should have went that way. And he's like, yep, that's on me. And he got to do better. You're right, Reg. And then I hope he has that in him.
Yeah. It's almost like he goes, when he gets a little bit of space, he'll go right into the defender and like helmet to helmet, shoulder pad to shoulder pad. Like he wants to run through them. But he'll get maybe a yard or he'll get sent back. So yeah, he's got to do better. He's got to do better. One guy that I think we need to shout out and give credit is Jake Moody. He kept us in it.
Yeah.
Like when we were stalling in the red zone, he was 3 for 3, kicked that 59-yarder right before the half. That kind of gave us a little momentum. We're going to miss him. I don't know who our place kicker is going to be next year, but
it's a Maha stud.
Nameless already knows. Nameless already knows.
I know. This is why I brought it up, so that I hope this guy could elevate our game because no, he was a big part of like our offense this year. Our best kicker, like someone's called him the GOAT of Michigan football kickers.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully this guy is as good. But I am hoping for team 144. I think I read somewhere like 80 to 85% of our roster might be back. If we look at our defense, Mason Graham, Baden McGregor, Rashawn Benny, Chris Jenkins, maybe Mikey Moe. I think he should come back. He was non-existent. What was he doing yesterday?
I was wondering, is
Nothing.
he still
No show.
lingering injury? You know what I mean? Was it still bothering him? But him and
not ready.
Oki. No, but him and Oki, I didn't hear their names called once because they didn't get to the quarterback at all.
No, Mo made one play. Mo made one really good play.
When?
They made
one play.
They were seconds away, though. They were seconds away.
No, but that's that Max Duggan factor. You know what I'm saying? Max Duggan is, like I said, he's able to do. That's why I was more fearful of Max Duggan than I was of CJ Stroud. But having said all that, I think they did enough to stop Max Duggan. You know, but the fact that when I look back on that game and I looked at the stat sheet at the end of the game and I saw that TCU ran for almost 300 yards, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And then that was after their top running back went out of the game in the first half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can I just say something here?
Sure.
Are we really putting our hopes, dreams on a kicker that's coming in next year? Come on, man. We're gonna give a shout out and say, "Oh, I hope the kicker who comes in behind Moody is good enough."
That wasn't the shout
we're
out.
just expecting field goals in the red zone.
Oh, squarehead, just
missed the point.
Come on,
Totally missed the
Shouldn't even
point.
be mentioning field goal place kickers.
Dude,
can
Money
make
Moody
us
made a
throw.
59-yarder. Come on, he deserves the kudos.
I will
every
say
every season, go back and look at the video. Every season, my breakout player is the field goal kicker.
No, it's the
Thing
punter.
is, are we
It's the
really?
punter.
Are we really
This
punter?
guy. Come on, get out of here.
No, you're wrong. It's the punter. Not the kicker, it's the punter.
Okay, special team, fine, special team. Are we really sitting here and saying we hope that the backup to Moody is going to be great next year?
No, that wasn't
man.
the point.
We're just saying we need a good field goal kicker. You know,
Oh
and
my
we're
gosh!
just hoping that,
Already
you know, this guy
expecting
would be
field goals.
Dude, Riggle or whatever is Noah Riggle missed what should have been the game winner. I guarantee you, Money Moody would have sent them to the
No doubt. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't have a doubt in my mind. But if JJ didn't throw 2 pick sixes, and if he can hit the long ball when the guy's wide open, we wouldn't even need that 59-yard field goal.
No, but you gotta come on, man. Listen. I didn't think we were going to get into an argument about the place kicker for next season, but we all know that in college football, one of the critical positions is the kicker. There's been so many times in history where your season is won or lost on the foot of that kicker.
Money Moody.
Yeah, I mean, even this season, Moody versus Illinois, without him, we don't win that game. Come on, man.
Dude, and look at
I'm not
Sparty,
saying.
who couldn't even play for a field goal. They had to keep going for it because they didn't even have anyone that could kick a field goal.
Wow,
I'm not saying Moody was probably our MVP this season. But what I'm saying
All right,
is,
let's not get that crazy.
how are we going to put our hopes for next season on a kicker? Come on.
No, but consider this. What if we didn't do the Philly special and we picked for the 3 points?
Serious, man.
Like that could have changed the scope of the game because we wouldn't have to go for the touchdown at the end. We could just go for it.
Philly. Let me tell you this. Let me give you the thoughts on that Philly 4th down thing. I really think that Michigan coaching staff was overconfident. They were saying, "Hey, let's just try this thing here on 4th down on the 2-yard line to see if we can punch it in. Because if we can't, our defense is going to stop them anyway." I think that's the mentality they had there. Or else, why would you not kick the field goal and take the points and get some momentum?
No, but
their thought process was our defense is going to hold them anyway.
No, but the defense did hold them after that Philly turnover. The defense got him off the field.
They had to punt on the next series. But But
in
they
that
had the 3
logic
points.
string,
Points.
in that logic string, it did work out just like they wanted. In the worst case scenario, where all right, if we don't get the touchdown, at least we pin them back. We get the ball back, and we still get the ball back in pretty good field position to go for it again.
But then we pick 6.
Yeah, but that's when the first pick 6 happened.
I don't want to blame anyone, but I'm blaming Bagman
Oh,
manifesting the pick 6s.
listen, going back to what I was trying to say, right? Hopefully we get this kicker and he's in place for next year. But our entire defense, right? The front 7, they're all coming back. Right? Colson's coming back.
Ozzy's
Barrett's probably coming back. Mikey Mo, Oki, Jenkins, McGregor, Mason Graham. Like, we're gonna miss Mozzie, but I think Mason's gonna step up in the middle. Like, we're gonna still be a dominating D. I think there's a lot of good pieces.
I agree, but let's be a little bit cautious with Barrett. I love me some Barrett, but I think he's good, but not great. And that's where Ernest Hausman, or however the heck you say, the Nebraska transfer, can elevate us. We need an upgrade. I'm sorry. And Colson, at least he has the potential where his ceiling has not been achieved. He's going to need to make a big jump to become like an All-American, which he has the raw just talent. He got to do it. And if our linebacker Hilo will earn his pay and get him to the next level, pair him up with Ernest, okay, then I'm with you. But if we run it back again with this same linebacking core, good, not great.
Yes, I agreed. But our front 4, right, Dowland, they're gonna get better. Barrett, I think he hit his ceiling. I think Colson can get better. Will Johnson is gonna be a star next year. We're gonna have Keon Sabb, right, taking the safety, the other high 4-star. I think our defense is gonna be better than it was this past year. And then our offense with JJ, Donovan, maybe Blake. I think Donovan might be a little sour if he comes back.
Oh my gosh! You're reversing back to the sour Donovan again? Come on!
I know. Don't you think he might be?
This is legit. Actually, I have been wondering this. It's his time to shine. It really is.
No,
Right.
but let's put it this way. In support of JC from Sunnyside, you cannot survive the Big Ten with only one running back.
Yeah.
And not. OSU understood this completely because Henderson went down. Mine Williams came up, but then he went down, and then they're like struggling.
I got a perfect solution for the Dono. You keep him involved as like primary receiving threat. Like you give him 8, 9, 10 targets a game and utilize the heck out of him as a receiver. Seriously, swing him out, coming him out of the backfield, line him up out wide, all of it, because you need them both.
There was a point in the game where I was like, why are they not throwing it to Donovan Edwards? He has a thinner cast. He was like catching balls in the practice or the prep for it. The last play, he's doing an out when he should have been doing out and up. He would have caught that ball 70 yards. Would have been play calling.
No, but a lot of times when Donovan was going into the, going out for a pass, you would see a linebacker shadow out with him. So TCU knew exactly that, hey, if this kid gets out there and catches the ball, he's going to be a threat. So there was always somebody spying Donovan Edwards. So that's another reason why J.J. McCarthy was bouncing around for 4 or 5 seconds, when he was dropping back a lot of times. But going back to the point of, well, you know what? I don't even go back to the point of next season because I'm still stewing about this season. The other thing that really I didn't think was going to happen was the fact that Oluwatimi, man, he made a couple big mistakes there, that really, really hurt us. And again, it's part of the collection of moments that if it had just gone Michigan's way, it could have been a vastly different story. The most obvious one, of course, being the very last play of the game. I honestly don't know what happened there, but it looked like Oluwatimi snapped it too early. You know, because JG's still barking out stuff, and all of a sudden the ball's shooting at his knees, and I was like, what are we doing out here? And then there was also the one where, remember, there was the we got called for false start or whatever the heck it was. I mean, so it was like in the biggest game, Oluwatimi, who had such a wonderful season for us.
Yeah.
It came down to a couple mental errors, and I got to call them mental errors, in some of the biggest moments, And if you had told me that was going to happen twice in one game, I would have said, there's no way. There's no way. But man, oh man, 2 big mental errors in the game.
I'm not going to excuse what happened, but I would say at the same time, the fact that we're, playing this game inside of a dome, I don't think you realize like how loud and vibrant and how much energy there is in there, because I'm not trying to say it's an excuse, but I think it factors in a little bit about what happens with especially the players who have not been there before. Oluwatini has never been to a college football playoffs. And it's very different from like a Michigan outdoor stadium. It's very different from any of these other things.
Give me a break, man. They had like 15 weeks to prepare for this game.
You can't prepare for that.
Pump in some loud music or something.
No, but
they can't practice like time snaps. Give me a break, man.
No, I almost hate to say it, but to kind of support Squarehead's point, the entire TCU team had never been to a college football playoffs and never been in that kind of situation before either. But, they were able to keep their heads a lot of times and make plays. But what was I saying on the other thing? I can't remember. But let me just wrap it up with this as far as my collection of moments of sorrow. The last one, we already talked about the touchdown that should have been a touchdown. I still don't understand how the refs saw irrefutable video evidence that it was not a touchdown. That's the thing for me on that Roman Wilson touchdown. I'm sorry. Was it Ronnie Bell? It was a Ronnie Bell one. Sorry. Wait, was it Ronnie Bell or Roman? It was Ronnie.
Oh, it's Roman. Roman.
Oh, sorry, Roman. On that Roman Wilson touchdown, because the call on the field was touchdown. So I didn't see anything on any of those replays that would show irrefutably that it wasn't a touchdown. If anything, you had the video evidence that there was still space between the ball and the hands.
100%.
On the replays. So I don't know what was seen by the refs. And I wish that this was a case where the refs would have to go in front of the media and be accountable for the call they made. That's one wish I have for the officiating crew, is to face the media. I don't expect them to get in front of the town square and face, the fans. But I wish, just like they do for the players and the coaches, I wish that they would do that for the referees and say, hey, you made this call. You made this judgment that had a humongous impact on the outcome of this game. What was your thought process? Why did you do that? Just like they do for the players and the coaches. Because I would really love to hear the OSU alumni's defense of his call.
Wow. Putting it out there.
Snuck that in there.
I put it out there. The Buckeye made a big call that screwed Michigan. In fact, he made a couple big calls that screwed Michigan. And I'd like to know the logic behind those calls.
Wait, it was him, or the OSU alum is the center judge? Is the center judge the ref?
Yeah, I know, but it's more dramatic if I say
that. Oh, God. It was replay. There's no excuse. This was replay reviewed. What's more, and everyone else has been saying it, I'm not saying anything new. Everyone who's a fan has read this. If you call yourself a fan, they rush jobbed it. It's not even they deliberated and looked at it over and over and over again painfully. They just cursory, quick and missed it. So at the end of the day, it's just a flat out miss. I mean, this is Reese Davis on the television broadcast corrected himself in mid-sentence, just kind of sanitized it in his first go, but he's like, oh no. Let's just be real. It was a touchdown. He was that confident and nobody disagreed. People could just come out and say that was a mistake. So that burns. And I wish you didn't go there. Every time you bring this particular topic up, it just salts the wound the most for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm with my boys. I love our coaching staff. I have faith and trust in our team, 143, 144, all that. Our future is bright. We've had 2 straight college football playoffs. We could go for a third. The refs, that's who I have long-lasting ire. So don't bring it up anymore, please.
Was it that much of a game-turning call, though?
Oh,
right. So if it was a 50-yard pass that he completed, but they said it was incomplete, yeah, huge. But this was a completed pass we had at the half-yard line. Like, that's on us to punch it in. Like, if they said it wasn't a catch after, right, they reviewed it, then like, yeah, that's BS. But they called it short of the goal. We have the responsibility of punching it in. And we have the responsibility of not making a boneheaded play call to hand it off to Keith Mullings, a linebacker who has limited carries, right, all season.
Oh, come on, man. That's not Keith Mullings' fault. That ball didn't even get into his arms.
Look at the stats. Look at the stat sheet. The
Who was
fumble was
hiking
on
the
him.
ball and handing it to him? And I didn't hear you guys say anything about handing it off to him when they handed it off to him and he made that jump pass for the touchdown. Oh,
Yeah, but at
man.
least he passed it. He wasn't running with it.
Go back and watch that replay. That ball didn't even get into his arms. Who was handing it off? Come on. And if that ball was thrown accurately, we're not even having this conversation. There's no ref review. It's just a clear touchdown in the end zone.
I don't even know.
It was thrown accurately, though. You know, so you keep saying that it wasn't thrown accurately, this, that, and the other.
Underthrown.
But
That's
it
what I meant,
wasn't-
not accuracy.
It was a perfect throw, and it got the kid into the end zone. What else do you want?
It was a touchdown.
It was a touchdown.
It was a touchdown, period. I don't know what they screwed us.
To me, the point that
It was a touchdown.
Squarehead is trying to make that if it had been thrown even more perfect, that blah blah blah. No. To me, that's
it would have been more of a
point
touchdown
because he
How
threw a
ridiculous! It
touchdown.
would have been more of a touchdown.
Yeah,
Okay.
JJ threw a touchdown and Roman Wilson caught a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
I'm not disputing that it was a touchdown.
So the fact that you're trying to say that
well.
you're trying to make it a point that JJ did something bad. No, he didn't.
No, but he should have made it.
Him and Roman Wilson did something great, but it was taken away from them unjustly. It was taken away unjustly.
I'm not arguing whether it was a touchdown or not. I 110% agree it was a touchdown.
Yeah, but
I'm
so
not
then
arguing.
If you're saying that it was 100% a touchdown, then the next thing is, it's like being pregnant. You can't kind of be pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. So it can't be a better touchdown or not. You see what I'm saying?
No. What
So
I'm
you
saying
can't
is
put the blame on that not being a touchdown on JJ quote unquote underthrowing the ball. You got to put the blame on that not being a touchdown on a bad call from the refs.
100%.
That's my point.
I'm saying it should have been a touchdown. It was a touchdown, but it was underthrown. You can't disagree with me that the ball was not underthrown.
It was not underthrown. If it was underthrown, then the defender would have knocked the ball away and it would not have been caught.
Oh my gosh,
that would have been.
That ball was not underthrown.
No.
You know what? If it was,
it went into
it's
his
the most
hand.
nitpicky,
It was a completion.
dipwad of a take. I mean, come on, man. That's a nitpick non-take.
Yeah.
Did he drop it into the trash can like 55 yards away? No.
Right.
But was it a good enough throw?
Just tell me this. Answer this question. Was the ball underthrown or not?
No.
It wasn't
Underthrown would have
underthrown.
meant that the defender would have had a chance to knock it away, and he didn't.
It's a bad
Definition
question.
of underthrown?
It's a bad question.
There's a circle
Bad
of
question. It's either underthrown or not.
No,
I
it's
just
just a
answered.
bad
It's not.
question.
It was not underthrown. It was
If the
not
receiver
underthrown.
has to
'Cause there was
slow
two
down to
defenders
catch a
behind
ball,
Roman Wilson, and if it was underthrown, then one of those defenders would have been able to knock away the pass.
If it was underthrown, it would have hit the ground, right?
Or
And
yeah, or even worse, if it was
Good
that
enough
badly
throw.
underthrown, it would have hit the ground.
yeah. If it was underthrown, JJ McCarthy would have hit his own shoes.
Yeah,
Anyways.
those things happened. Instead, it was caught by
Anyways.
Roman Wilson in the end zone.
Anyways, it still should have been a touchdown when we ran it in with JJ McCarthy under center, or JJ McCarthy just literally taking his hands and going like this over the
Well,
end zone line. That
here-
should have been a touchdown.
Here's what I was going with by bringing up all these things. All those collection of moments that didn't go our way. For me, the fact that despite all those things, the fact that the team kept fighting and that we literally were fighting for an opportunity to win the game until the very last minute, that was a part for me that was encouraging. That the team didn't give up at any point. Because when you go down 21-3 in the first half, especially for a college game, there's a really great chance that it's going to become a blowout real quick. But the fact that the kids, that these young men stayed together, stayed in the fight, didn't give up, despite punch after punch after punch. There was so many opportunities where they just could have gave up. Like that long pass on the 3rd and 7 when we couldn't get them off the field, and instead TCU took it down for another touchdown to expand the lead back up to double digits again. Right there, they could have just folded and given up. But none of those young men on the offensive or defensive side of the ball did that. So for me, if there's a takeaway that's on the real bright positive, is the fact that none of the kids on either side of the ball at any point gave up on the game. Sure that there was mistakes made. Sure that there were plays that could have been made that weren't made. Sure there was opportunities lost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact that everybody on that team 143 was still in the fight until the very, very last second, I take pride in that. And I raise my glass to team 143. Wow, looks like that's a great place to end the video.
Here.
So I think our Loveland, Darius Clemens next year is going to be a weapon for JJ. We need a weapon. We need someone to get open. I think Darius Clemens might be the guy. Roman Wilson will be back. Hopefully Andrew Anthony, AJ Henning. I think he's just maybe a punt returner and at best. But I think it's time to get these freshman 4-star receivers out there and need some playmakers, right? Get open. If we can solve that, and our defense, preseason 2 at worst.
Oh, please no, please. We all know what happens to an overrated, highly ranked Michigan team. I'd rather be unranked, play with an edge. I don't want to be ranked 1 or 2. Come on, man. That's just setting us up for failure.
You're right.
No.
We don't want that, but there's something to be said about getting some respect for the rankings, because this stuff is so political, and you can get hosed down the stretch the way these games go. So you want a little bit of that built-in blue blood respect, or it could cost you.
I mean, we all know what the media is going to do. They're just going to top 10 us, and then, they're not going to put us high. But anyways, regardless of that, there's a lot of youth still left on this team. Clearly the process is working. There are rumblings of Harbaugh again to the NFL. But I feel confident that, JJ, he's gonna bring us back. He said he's gonna bring us back. He's gonna bring us back. He said last year he was gonna bring us back. No one believed. This whole panel didn't believe that we were gonna go CFP.
What are you talking about? This whole panel didn't believe.
I didn't believe either.
I didn't believe.
I believed. I believed. Come on.
But JJ sat on that field again. Donovan Edwards right next to him, looking at that TCU celebration. And I don't know what could make someone more hungry than seeing things slip out of their hands and getting to the kudos to Don Edwards. Right mindset. He's a Michigan man now. And then JJ McCarthy's, he's clearly a Michigan man there. We've got people coming in. We've got transfers coming in that are seasoned. These aren't even just young guys. These are like veterans that are there. So hopeful for 2023.
This is the first season that McCarthy has started.
Yeah.
Right. So hey, let's cut him a little bit of a break. He had really no receivers to throw to other than Ronnie Bell. Like, he had Blake Corum. We lost Blake Corum for the last 3 games of the season. So, I think it's only upward for JJ, our offense. We get OSU at home next year. We still have a cupcake non-conference schedule, which is get our stuff together. I think we make another run at this. Right? There's going to be another run at this next year.
I want to concur with JB and Reg's points about the battle that what an amazing game this ended up being and how they hung in there, because it really looked like it was over. Now, I don't mean just the first half. In the second half, I mean, it looked like it was curtains. I was even like, Happy New Year, guys. It's over. I mean, but it just, the way they came back was so uncharacteristic. It was a weird game by all accounts. It's what made it so gripping for the national audience. They were like, what is this game is off the hook, is what people were saying out there. It sucks that we lost, but like, I can't actually believe they found a way to claw back. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was over.
This was the best game for Nameless. I mean, the flip-flopping, even me, I was like, it's over. Wait, it's not over.
Yeah.
It's not over.
It looked over.
Like
anyone watching it looked over. Not just me. I mean, I think anyone watching the game, play it back again. It's an Instaclastic after all.
I'm gonna put in this little quip. While I was at the game, I had to turn off my phone because you guys were blasting my phone. And I was like, what's going on? And at one point, like, I thought like texts were going through even before the play that I was visually watching live. You guys were texting like right before. I was like, oh my God, how did they predict like what's going on right now? And I was like, I'm watching it live. You guys are on broadcast. Why are you?
Because Square is constantly predicting doom and gloom even before it happens, every second, every minute, and half the time they end up happening.
Oh gosh!
So I had to turn off my phone completely, and I was just like, I couldn't even look at my phone anymore. I literally shut it down because I was like, I can't look at this anymore.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Watching this game, I felt like how a French fan would have felt after the World Cup final. I felt very French after watching this game. The France went down 2-0 to Argentina. They fought all the way back, and then when they fought all the way back, Argentina scores again in extra time. And then they fought all the way back and they tied it up again and they take it to the penalties. And then they finally lose it in penalties. That's what I felt like as well. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, if we take a zoom out, let's just wrap it up.
Another zoom out?
Yeah, I'm saying wrap it up for the season. Wrap it up for the season. Final thoughts on this season, because this is the last show of the season. Team 143. I cede the floor. Final wrap-up thoughts for this team.
I'll start. I've learned to manage my expectations even better after these past 2 years and after the past 6-7 years of postseason bowl play with our coach Harbaugh. Next year, my expectations will be super, super low. where I can only go up. There will be no floor, nothing going down. I will be in the ultimate basement of all basements when it comes to expectations.
Okay, that really wasn't a thought on Team 143, but
And this team
thank you.
143 was great. Thank you.
I'm just gonna say I love you, 143. Thanks for the memories. It was so awesome. I loved watching all your games, not once, but at least the highlights multiple times over. Yes, I did. It was just a joy seeing all those runs, all the press conferences, everything. I just soaked you guys up. It was a blast. And just looking back, the utter emasculation of Penn State, I was a little nervous. It was one of the first show me games. Of course, Iowa was somewhat big, but I mean, Penn State, when we just freaking crushed you, took your manhood away. It was like, okay, bully ball is in full effect. All right. And I confess, I didn't think, the odds were in our favor to go into the shoe. And that stunned the freaking hell out of me that we went down there and gave them a beatdown 2 years in a row. Unreal. So that's, yes, what I will look back on fondly. And yeah, it sucks to be on the heels of the loss, but those were the memories that made it special.
I mean, we were in the Final Four, right? The number 2 seed in the country. I mean, that who else gets to say that, right? Outside of the 4 teams. I mean, you said it, Nameless. We went to Columbus and gave them a shellacking, right? We haven't won there since what, like Bush v. Gore, right? Gore v. Bush or something like that. This was 22 years or something. I mean, it was a long time. We gave them a beat down. 13-0, right? Best record in Michigan history. Player development, the offensive unit, special teams, defensive unit, all grew. But I think the one thing I learned about this year that I think we knew last year also was Harbaugh now is able to make the tough decisions. It may not be the popular decision for everybody, but replacing Cade with JJ, replacing a captain, right, with a 5-star potential, even though there was a lot of sour feelings with Cade, and he was our captain, and he left and didn't show up for the last 3 games of the season, and he transferred midway. He still made that decision, right, to make the team better. Right. I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision for Harbaugh because he loved Cade last year, Big Ten championship, but he saw the potential. Just like he replaced Don Brown, he got Jesse Minter. He made a tough decision with Cade, with JJ, and because of the decision that Harbaugh's willing to make for the team, onward and upward.
I started off last year watching Michigan, Georgia in Miami, Florida, and literally New Year's struck and we just got shellacked by a Georgia national championship team. But yet it was relevant. It was Michigan at that level. Granted, last year we had a lot of things that happened that were like, is this for real or not? Or is this, whatever it is? But, post OSU, crushing them at home, getting into the Big Ten championship, crushing Iowa there, and then getting into the Final Four college playoff, that was like a dream. We haven't had this dream in 20 plus years of being relevant that way. This year, starting off this 143 team, so much potential, talent, youth, everything. I was nervous. I was nervous to cling on to, are we back to where we should be? And every game, game after game, it just continued to show me like these guys literally have bought into what this program is about, being a Michigan man, making sure that, we play hard all the time. And they surprised me. I didn't pick them to go undefeated. I didn't pick them to beat OSU at the Buckeye Stadium.
Right.
if you go back to the beginning, I thought I was like 10-2. I think that's what I said. Everyone's like shocked. I didn't think we were gonna get there. Again, I move out of Ann Arbor. I'm now in Phoenix, and all of a sudden, Michigan's playing in Phoenix in the college football playoffs. How pumped could I be that they actually came to the city that I'm living in now, playing again for a chance for the national championship? And that game put me through an emotional roller coaster. Team 143. I can't imagine what it was for you to be like that in the start. I was like almost fainting after that Donovan Edwards run. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to turn into what it is. And you had to fight back through all that. Halftime, I was putting my head in my hands. I didn't know what was going on. My friend's son was sitting next to me, and I was like, I didn't say any bad words, but I was obviously not thinking positive thoughts. But then I saw his face go crazy in everything that was going on. We were hugging each other. We were hugging everyone around us, high-fiving us. TCU fans around us just shutting up because we're coming back. And I thought a miracle would happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. But hey, to feel that kind of miracleness in all of this, that is a blessing, my friends. College football fans, unless you're the top 4 teams that are in there to be able to experience it, you will never know what that means. And you can say, oh, you guys lost and stuff like that. But if you're not even in the college football playoffs, if you don't even score a point in the college football playoffs because you get blown out by Alabama, then you don't have anything to do but say that you're committed to this freaking football team. Go Blue.
Man, I just asked for a simple wrap up for the year, and everybody's going off crazy. Anyway, good gravy. Let me just wrap it up. This year played out a lot, almost like it was scripted by Mr. Squarehead. We started the year ranked outside the top 10. We started the year with we started the year with 3 brand new coordinators, brand new defensive coordinator, brand new co-offensive coordinators. We lost the Broyles Award winner, Josh Gaddis. Remember, Josh Gaddis won the Broyles Award as the top coordinator in college football last season. And there were so many questions coming in. We lost, I'm going to say 3 first-round draft picks from our defense, because I still count David Ajabo as a top first-round pick, despite the fact that he technically won in the second round. We lost 3 first-round picks from that defense. There were so many questions going into the season. And then we started off the year with a brand new starting quarterback. So many things were unknown, and yet, Michigan, team 143, kept growing, kept winning, kept advancing. And then we forget, in that Illinois game, when our Heisman contender, Blake Corum, went down, holy smokes, things looked dark. But again, team 143 kept fighting. We went down to the shoe and we beat OSU. Holy smokes. We win the Big Ten, we win versus Purdue. We go to the college football playoffs. So, man, oh, man, I raise my glass to you, team 143. So many questions. So many people hated on you before the start of the season. So many people doubted you before the start of the season. But, man, oh, man, you rose to the challenge. And despite what anybody else says, despite what anybody says, they can't take away from the fact at the end of the season, it's Big Ten champions once again, and that you beat OSU once again. So raise my glass to you, team 143. I say thank you. I say go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Committed.